All right, what's going on, everyone? Let me just make sure this is broadcasting the way that it's supposed to. Santa Claus brought us a treat tonight. We get to chop it up with the great Johnny Olden Jr. about the 2024 season and the bowl game, and probably some aspects to Team 146. Let me click this. And let's see. All right, there's a Dick's ad, and I'm just waiting for the ad to finish. Okay, let me stop that. Give me a second here. All right, there's me. All right, I'm going to play my intro, everyone, and then I will bring Johnny up, and we're gonna talk about the Michigan football program. Go Blue.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm always watching their stuff just to laugh at them or whatever. Since we beat them, another year of trash talk. But yeah, they're the host of the podcast, Nevada Buck. I know Antoine knows him. They're all rooting for Bama. They've turned into like Bama fans now. He hesitates. You know what I'm saying? And playing that linebacker spot, you can't hesitate. You have to fly and just go. Pretty much. I mean, that's any position. You can't hesitate on the field because the game moves so fast. If you hesitate, you blew the play. Like that Marvin Harrison drag that he hesitated. Like you got to go and attack him.
I'm kind of numb to it at this point because we can't control it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's his choice. That's his life. We can't control it. We're having the best seasons that we've had in 20 years or something. So I'm just kind of numb to it. I mean, it's annoying just because Ohio State fans and our rivals, they go crazy about it. You're losing your coach. Harbaugh's leaving. He's going, and then he comes back and then we stomp a mud hole in him, and then they back to, he's gonna leave. He's gonna be suspended. He's gonna leave, and then but it bothers me a little bit, but we can't really do anything. So I'm just numb to it at this point. I mean, I would say it doesn't hurt recruiting, but it does because all the other schools are saying, do you know if Harbaugh will be there? Do you know if he'll be there? So that's the downfall of it is recruits.
But short yardage, Tavir Dunlap, I'm not sure if he's a powerful back like that. I heard on the radio, I forget who it was, but he was saying Alex Orji. I love that. Dude is a beast. I posted a picture up on my page to just show how big and freakish this dude looks. Like he looks like he's a senior. Like you just got on campus. This dude is freaking huge. But yeah, I'm hoping they give him the short yardage, but we'll see how that goes. But
All right, everyone, that was a montage of I think I had Johnny. Yeah, we didn't talk mid-season. We talked I think at the beginning of the season, and those last comments there were about Alex Orji, and I think all of us were predicting that Alex Orji would be QB1, and then that changed over the summertime, over the spring and the summertime when the coaching staff saw something. And Davis Warren ended up being QB1. But that was a montage of one of Johnny's earlier visits to my channel. So with that, he agreed to come back. So we're going to talk about the season and then the bowl game and then maybe a little bit of Team 146. There's been a lot of activity since the Ohio State game. Players entering the transfer portal. We have a new offensive coordinator. I think we have a new defensive backs coach. There's just been so much movement thus far. And hey, let me welcome up Johnny Olden Jr. and we're going to talk about the Maize and Blue. Go Blue. What's going on, Johnny?
How you doing?
Good yourself? All right, thanks for coming back, man. I always appreciate when you come back, and I highly respect your football acumen and your analysis, and you and Marcus, and when you guys break it down, it's something to behold. And because of you, man, I find myself I watch the game now a little bit differently now. I'm looking at the lines and the who's dropping back, who's rushing.
Mm-hmm.
I think in that last was it the Northwestern game, I caught Marlon Klein do his kick out block, and so because of you, I see the game a little bit better now.
Yeah, you're analyzing.
All right. Well, let's start with the first question here. I got a couple. Everybody, please smash the like button if you haven't. If you're new, please consider subscribing. If you have questions for Johnny or comments in the chat there, whoever comes in. I know it's the rush hour, so folks are probably commuting and eating dinner or just getting up from the table. Trevor Coles is here. We have an Ohio State rep here.
Trevor.
All right, Johnny. What are your thoughts? We're going to go high level here. What are your thoughts on the 2024 season? I'll start off by saying before you go, I think with just a little bit more offensive production and better player rotations, we potentially could have been one of the 12 teams. But what do you think about what you saw over the last 3 months?
Oh my God, it was a roller coaster. Because we started off expecting one thing, and it didn't take us long to realize Sharon and the staff and had been lying to Sam Webb and the media because, they don't get to attend practice. We were thinking Orgy would be the starter. The week before he gets announced he's not the starter. We're like, that's kind of strange, and then from there, Davis Warren not playing well. Then he gets benched. The whole time we noticed the play calling wasn't that good. Wink is zero blitzing, so it was a roller coaster. And then it seems like it was all really bad. Honestly, it was okay. Then it got bad, and then when Bryce signed, it was like a light at the end of the tunnel. It just everything kind of turned to sunshine and rainbows when Bryce signed, So then when he came, we had that was the bye week before Northwestern. He comes, we blow out Northwestern, we beat Ohio State, and we're here where we are now. So the season was a roller coaster, and like you said, if we had a better offensive game plan, who knows what the final record would be? Honestly, we probably be in the playoff because we beat probably Illinois, probably Washington. You never know, but the way the defense was playing with Wink took a minute, but he got the defense rolling. He did, and even in those games we lost, the defense wasn't playing that bad. It's just they were on the field so much. We weren't getting anything from the offense. So it's what did you expect? So it was a roller coaster. Long story short, it was a roller coaster. I'm glad we got Bryce, and it went up. So the stock is up right now for Michigan, honestly,
Right. I don't think we're all feeling as bad as we were early on in the season and middle of the season. There's some optimism now, and I think that was one of the concerns, and that's that you guys aren't making this look good for players who might want to come. This isn't looking really good. I think so. The play calling, you were pretty critical early on about a lack of eye candy. And one of the things I noticed myself is that they were early on, they were lining Davis up in like all these 3 and 4 wide receiver sets.
Mhm.
And I was thinking about you and eye candy, and I was thinking, why do they keep going to these sets? There's very little movement. There's very little adjustment for the defense. It's just line up 3, 4 wide, drop Davis back, and let him throw the ball. Did you observe that too?
Yeah, and that's why I used to be so mad, because you can't really, whether you're at Texas right now or wherever you're at, Alabama, it doesn't matter. The less talent you have, the more eye candy and all that stuff you need to do. Now, but you see even teams like Oregon, who is loaded, they still do all that stuff, and they're loaded. We had a lack of talent on offense. There was no excuse for us not to be doing a lot of that stuff. It makes the players' jobs that much harder, So that's why I was so hard on them all the time. It's the Kirk Campbell being the play caller and designing these plays, because you're making the job so hard on these two dudes that don't have that much talent, especially at receiver. Loveland's gonna get open on his own regardless. He can just line up and run a slant, run a post, run a corner. He'll get open. The rest of these guys, they need a little help, and that's on you to give them that help. So that's why I was so hard on them.
Well, let me ask you this. Okay, so we know that Kirk wasn't as creative as he could have been, and he didn't utilize the talent that we had as best he could. I was getting, I'm a Colston Loveland guy after that 2022 Ohio State game. But after a while, I was thinking, okay, this is way too predictable. You run Colston out, run him to the sideline, you hit him. Eventually, other defenses are going to see, okay, this is all they have. With Samaj, Samaj is undersized. Tyler Morris is undersized. I think our biggest wideouts were Amarian Walker and Kendrick Bell. I mean, do you think there was enough there on the outside? If Kirk Campbell had just gotten a little more creative, we could have gotten more chunk yardage and more yaks.
Well, we could have, honestly, regardless, we could have, but that's also with, I don't know what they were doing with the rotation of receivers. One game you might see a little Fred Moore. One day you see Kendrick Bell more. One day you see Samaj more. Other day you see Tyler Morris. Like, there was no consistency to who it was. By the end of the year, we're seeing Peyton O'Leary more. So there was no consistency on who's your guy, who do you count on. It was just kind of mix and match, it felt like. So nobody, I don't think they really knew who their guys were, I think they just kind of rotated them, and besides injury, okay, who's healthy, and they were just rotating them. The last, few games, we didn't see Fred Moore barely at all. And he's a burner. So to me, that's like, bro, if he's that fast, I can jet sweep him. I can wheel route. I can fly route, post route, play action, go deep. If you're fast with a play action and you've been running the ball. Now I hit a play action to my speedy receiver. That's basic football. That's Michigan football. So that's what really bothers me. We running that rock, and then we don't take deep shots. And honestly, it surprised me that we got away with it against Ohio State, that we didn't take any deep shots, to get those guys out of the box a little bit. We just stopped even trying it.
Yeah. We're going to come back to the quarterbacks, but since you mentioned rotations, the other thing that shocked me was when we started seeing that Khalil was the guy, the team MVP, the bell cow. I was surprised that in some of those games they kept starting Donovan. I was thinking, why are you putting him out there on the first series?
Well, and that's why, like, close to before we got Bryce, I was like, boy, I can't wait for this season to be over, because things like that, to me it's inexcusable. especially at Michigan, but any school, but especially somewhere where your slogan for your school is the team, the team, the team. So why are we trotting out Donovan when everybody knows Khalil Mullins is the best back? Just because you don't start, he's still gonna get carries. What is this? He has to start, and so that really bothered me because it was inexcusable. For a few games, neither one of them got in the groove. When Khalil was in a groove, they would refuse to start him, and I think that kind of pulled him out of the groove. Because some games they were trying to feed Donovan, you're trying to pick like. You got the bell cow that's proved he's that. Feed him the ball. But then also, you didn't have a good idea on how to use Donovan. You didn't use him in the past game. We had success using the dual back sets. You used them for like a game and a half, and we never saw him again. So some of the stuff that was going on, it was just mind-boggling. Like, honestly, like, it really had you looking at Kirk Campbell like, bro, you really don't know what you're doing. And then in turn, after a certain amount of time, it was like, Sharon, do you know what you're doing? Because you letting him do this. So, you know, everything goes through you. You're the head coach. Do you know what you're doing, bro? So.
Okay. I'm going to show something here that I think drives this home. This is the Ohio State game, goal line, Davis Warren special.
Oh,
I'm not gonna play the sound so I don't get a strike, but there's Jack Sawyer feeling himself at least for another 30 minutes. This you know what baffled me about this, Johnny?
What's that?
You're first and goal. You got 4 downs. Just keep hammering that Ohio State defense. But
Exactly.
I know, I guess it was Kirk Campbell. I know what they were trying to do. They said, okay, Ohio State is expecting us to pound the ball in. We're going to trick them and throw it. This would have worked if Davis had just put some more air under the ball, but he threw it right to Jack Sawyer.
Just right.
So you know, at that point, I had an epiphany. I said, okay, well, you can have the best play caller, but your quarterback still has to know which throw to make and how much touch to put on the ball. But I think that was just emblematic of the ineptitude in the play calling and also in the quarterback play that we saw most of the season.
And you exactly right, because Kirk Campbell, we've been hard on him, and he's needed to, which we should have been, but sometimes he would call some good plays and they wouldn't execute them. So it would either be Kirk Campbell, bad play calling, bad rotation with players, or it would be when he does actually call a good play, they can't execute it, just like that. That was a good play call, but you got to know who you got out there. We're that close. Milk the clock some more and run that rock. 4 times, Khalil's going to get in there.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna move this one up. Did the results of that Ohio State game, did that surprise you? I mean, because I know that I went in just thinking, okay, hopefully we can keep it close, make it respectable. Did you think Michigan had a chance to win that one?
Yeah, I always think we have a chance when we have a defense like that, because I'm a defensive guy. So, that's why I always focus on defense so much, because defense wins championships. Defense always gives you a chance, and the only way I wouldn't have came into that game thinking we didn't have a chance is if Ohio State just blew out everybody. Like they blew out Penn State. They blew out Wisconsin, or not Wisconsin, Nebraska. They blew out Oregon also. But I saw them struggle with Wisconsin. I mean, Nebraska. I saw them struggle with Nebraska. I saw them struggle with Penn State, not scoring that much. So that gave me hope right there that we can do that too. And that's what, and I did my breakdown, and that's what I was, saying. I've seen it done. Once I've seen somebody else slow you down, and I know we got the dogs, I believe we can do it too. So that was my hope. Now, did I think Wink was going to be able to hold him to 10? I did not. I didn't think he was going to be able to hold him like that. And part of that is Chip Kelly. His game plan wasn't the smartest, but that's not our problem. That's your problem. You want to run into the best D tackles in the country, go for it.
All right, well, Johnny, I got to play this Ryan Day drop right here. Hold on, give me a second. This is so fitting here.
This is a tough team right here. We're proud to be from Ohio, and it's always been Ohio against the world, and it'll continue to be Ohio against the world. But I'll tell you what, I love those kids, and we got a tough team.
I was looking at the screen. I was at the sports bar listening to some of Joe Klatt's commentary, and I started saying, okay, yeah, you know what? They're not throwing the ball outside to Jeremiah Smith or Ibuka or Carnell Tate. They keep running the ball. Why do they keep running the ball? So that's the great mystery. Was it Wink called that great of a game, or Ryan Day and Chip Kelly just said we're gonna prove that we're a tough team?
Yeah, they played in our hands some. But what surprised me was when Ohio State got it. Because they got the ball back with 45 seconds. In college, that's a nice amount of time. They got 1 yard and gave us the ball back. Basically, that's what really surprised me. I was expecting, like, man, we're gonna have they got it. All they need is a field goal. Yeah, he's been missing kicks, but this is a lot of time. And when I saw they couldn't get a yard, I was like, oh, Wink. Okay, Wink, you prove you say you the OG, you got it. You got it, dog.
Well, at that point, well, I think, yeah, Will Howard wasn't he's not your Heisman quarterback. He's not that.
And I've been on him all year, and people have been thinking that I didn't know what I'm talking about.
You just hating.
Yeah, they thought I was just hating. But I've been telling people, I've been watching him. He makes bonehead type mistakes to where even if, and I've had Ohio State fans say, well, he's got games where he's 80%. He's 80%. Usually when a quarterback is 80%, that's a great game and it's flawless. He'll go 84% and still throw an interception. You know what I mean? That's almost like Davis Warren, not to that extent. What was that? Arkansas State. He was like 13 for 16 with like 3 picks. So yeah, he's playing good. He'll play real good and still throw a pick. So I would notice that in some of the games that he would still make bonehead mistakes, whether he was playing good or bad. He'd still give you those bonehead mistakes, and besides the fact he doesn't have the ball placement like a CJ Stroud or a Dwayne Haskins. He doesn't throw the ball that well. So when it's tight coverage and NFL throws, even when we played them, yeah, they didn't throw it, but they threw it 33 times. So if you just think of some of the throws that he made, the guys were somewhat open, but they were NFL windows, and the ball would be somewhere out of bounds because he can't throw it that way. And he was probably thinking about that interception he threw to Amir Hall. So that's the thing. And they don't realize it. A lot of them, well, some of them do, but they think he's just because he puts on the Ohio State jersey, that turns him into CJ Stroud or Dwayne Haskins. Sorry to tell you, it don't. He ain't that.
No. Now, I will, since we're talking quarterbacks, I will say this. There is something Davis did in that game that I really liked. And I think we would have benefited if he'd done it all season long. Is he stepped up into the pocket and he ran forward.
He looked like a poor man's JJ.
Yeah, I was like, Oh my God, he ran for the first down.
Yeah, I was like, and that's, I think when he did that, I think all of us were like, yeah, we about to win. And because you could see his energy was going up. It was like, yes, we about to win this game. And then he threw the pick. Well, that's the drive where he threw the pick to Jack Sawyer. I was like, oh God, this little you just had the best drive in the game, and now you throw a pick, bro. Don't do this.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I mean, the team was always going to be up for that game, but it did look like they found something around the Northwestern game, and I thought that game. I thought we had to be careful because that game could have been deceptive. But do you think Wink, for however much longer he's going to be on the staff, do you think he's figured it out? Because you gave him the beat down a couple times this year.
Yeah. Because I was giving him the benefit of the doubt at first. Like, this is his system. You know, he said he's not going to blitz. Then he came out. We saw some zero blitzing. So I like you said, I gave him the beat down. Then he seemed to simplify some things. We saw a little more twists and stunts. Almost getting back to Jesse and Mike. And we started to see it, you know, the OG, you know, Jesse, Mike, you know, that same scheme that we're used to. We started to see that. And I think it was he needed time. He did need time because, I mean, that's kind of his own fault. He made his version is a little more complex. You know, that wasn't smart with these. You got college guys, and that was one of the complaints in the NFL, that they said it was too complex in the back end for the secondary. That's why we always had guys confused. But later in the season, they said he simplified it for pretty much everybody. So then you can't, and that's the thing about defense or football in general. You can't play fast if you're thinking or you don't know what you're doing. It has to be reaction. Boom. If you thinking, oh, do I got him? Oh, he ran past you. It don't matter now. He's gone. You know, so once he did that, you saw the defense that we expected a little more. You saw the defense that we expected to be consistent and holding teams down, getting off the field on third down. Once he did that, it was like, okay, I got you, Wink.
Okay. So, guys, if you have comments for Johnny or questions, I don't have them here every week, so definitely sound off there in the chat. I want to read this one from Trepa. Trepa asked, did Donovan live up to the hype over the course of his career at Michigan? I'm going to say something first, and I'll hand it off to you. I thought the speed. I thought if Donovan had a nice hole he could run through, he was off to the races. Obviously, you could use him on gadget plays like that running back pass he threw to Roman in the Big Ten championship game in 2021. But if he didn't have a nice hole he could run through, I feel like he struggled. But what do you think in terms of the hype? Do you think he lived up to who he was supposed to be coming in?
Probably not. And all of that, and I'd say all of that isn't his fault, but Donovan, he did a lot for us, you know, so he'll always have a lot of my respect. Like 2022, broken hand. He ran for about 600 yards in like 3 games. You know, that's crazy. You know, in that national championship, he won it by himself, basically, on offense. You know, those 2 runs, they only scored 13. He scored 14. That's the game, you know. So I got love for Donovan. No, he didn't live up to the hype, but he did what we needed him to do, at least. If he was great, it wasn't. Let's say he was really good this year, we still gonna have problems because the quarterback was horrible, you know. So he didn't live up to it, but he's a legend in my book. You know, we're gonna always keep him in our heart for sure.
Oh yeah, especially the way he ended the 2022 game.
Yeah,
those two massive runs.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's yeah. Jay Marion says, Switching Zeke Berry to corner and Page to nickel was key for Wink late in the season.
That's a fact. Zeke Berry was in the nickel, and they moved him out because Will got hurt or Jair. One of them was dinged up, and Zeke thrived on the outside. He looks like he needs an offseason of training, getting better at being on the outside. He looks like he might be a stud.
Yeah, I think the defense definitely started looking like, especially the tackling in space, it started looking like last year's defense late in the season.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna have the biggest problem with our team this season was our offense. So Kurt Campbell is out, and Chip Lindsey is in. I'm just gonna go over this really, really quickly. So Chip Lindsey is coming from, it looks like he was at North Carolina. He was the offensive coordinator / quarterback coach. He's going to be doing exactly what Kurt Campbell was doing. Okay. Before that, Troy, Auburn, Arizona State, Southern Miss, Auburn. Okay, so he's been around.
Yeah, he's been around.
So I thought that was a good move. Number one, because of the results we saw in the field this season, but also you're going to have Bryce coming in, and you don't want somebody mishandling him coming in, and you just want to restore confidence on that side of the ball. Are you familiar with Chip Lindsey, or how do you feel about that hire?
I'm a little bit familiar because my one of my friends, he's a UNC grad, so he roots against Michigan, and of course I hate watch North Carolina on the other end. So Chip Lindsey, I like what he does on offense. He's not a stubborn Kurt Campbell was stubborn. This is my system. I want to do it this type of way. I don't know how to call plays for Orgy. Chip Lindsey isn't that kind of guy. I'm not going to force my scheme to fit the players. I'm going to fit my scheme to fit the players, not the other way around. Sometimes the players aren't going to fit your scheme. You have to change your scheme to fit them. So I like that. And he doesn't care whether he's throwing it for 300 or running it for 200. He's going to do whatever he can do to put up some yards and some points. He's not stubborn. North Carolina, when I watched them, I've seen them running it like crazy, and I've seen them throwing it, and I've seen them be balanced, and just, you don't know what they're going to do, but they got about 500 yards, so that's what I like. That's the one thing that I really wanted and that I like. Someone that doesn't care how it gets done. Yeah, we want to run the ball, and I like that he's got a spread. He does a spread, but he still power runs out of the spread. So I like that. I want to be able to do everything, kind of run the ball and still spread you out and throw it down the field and have you confused, and we're throwing it over here, throwing it over there, and we'll line up and smash mouth you like old school Michigan. So I like what he brings to the table.
Okay. I'm going to ask you about next year's quarterback room, because, there's been a lot of movement thus far. Bryce is the biggest name, but Alex Orji is not coming back. He entered the transfer portal. Johnny, if you had Alex Orji, because I think we all thought he was going to be a starter, what would you have done with him? Was he mismanaged? Did he just not have accuracy? He had some arm strength.
Yeah, he had arm strength.
Yeah, was that mismanaged, do you think?
Yeah, Kurt Campbell, he just didn't know what to do with him. Whether it was Davis Warren or Orgy, Davis Warren wasn't that great of a thrower. He would make mistakes or misread and get nervous or whatever. But Orgy, what he brought to the table was his power running, So I'm going to use that. Orgy would be in the game. He would barely keep it on reads, or you'd see the same plays. It was so mind-boggling. Like, bro, You had these guys all season, and it's just the same plays. I'm gonna use the read and do it out of the pistol, out of the shotgun. I'm going to use his legs with Mullins, with Donovan, but I'm also going to do some RPO and different things off of it with all that eye candy. If I had Orgy, I'm trying to be the best run game in the country between Mullins, Donovan, and Alex Orgy. I want to have at least the best run game in the Big Ten, for sure. And we're going to run it down your throat. And then when you just have to commit, and you will, I'm going to try to hit you over the top, because you're going to have to commit so hard that this guy should be wide open. Okay. So it was kind of mind-boggling to me that he wouldn't just commit to that. And when he did put Orgy in, the play calling was just so vanilla. It was almost like, do you even want this dude to be successful? Like it got to the point where it was like, do you really want him to be successful? And then when Davis Warren became the starter again, he would put Orgy in. We're game 8, 9. And you'd throw Orgy in and run the same play you've been running all season. We played Indiana. They was waiting on it. It was like Orgy ran into a brick wall. Like, you're getting this dude killed, bro. Like, come on.
Yeah, and then he would put him in at times when it seemed like Davis was getting into a rhythm.
Yeah. So it was just all bad with Kirk Campbell. He just really seemed like he just didn't know what he was doing. Like you got a position, you got a coaching job that you weren't ready for and you probably didn't deserve.
Yeah, and then at the end of which game was that where he called the Samaj Morgan pass and it sailed out of the back of the end zone. It was just crazy. It was just more foolishness.
And that was Davis Warren's probably his best game. He was kind of cooking that game.
Yeah. Thank you, Jay Marion. He says it was the Oregon game.
Yeah, that was the Oregon game. And Davis Warren was kind of cooking. Like, that's a game that I can really say I wanted the ball in his hands. If we're going to lose each game, you never know who might be hot. But whoever's hot, and it's a close game, I want the ball in their hands. And I felt bad for Davis Warren that game because he deserved to have the ball in his hands, and you put it in Samajas, who did like nothing that game. Mind blowing.
Okay, I'm going to read some of these comments, then we'll move on. I'm almost at the end of my questions. Let's see. Jay Marion, okay, I already read that one. The Victor says, I respect the Don for always competing. Yeah, he didn't become a locker room cancer at any time. Jay Marion says Donovan did enough in his career for us. Losing Gaddis hurt him. Oh, interesting. Gaddis knew how to use him.
Yeah, he did.
Okay.
That's a fact.
King William says Donovan will be better in the league.
Yeah, in the NFL, they know how to use those backs out of the backfield a little bit better.
Okay. Please smash that like button. And then B-Man25486 says the entire offense was mismanaged and bonehead Kurt Campbell at OC with bonehead Kurt Campbell at OC. Michael Burden says I'm gonna ask Johnny this at the end. Michael, you can let us know what you think in the chat right now. He says, which teams do you think you guys have advancing this weekend? I have Indiana, Penn State, Texas, and Tennessee. We'll come back to that. He said the Oregon game, and he said, Davis deserved to finish that game out. All right. Okay, so we're gonna have. There's already been a lot of movement on the team. We got guys graduating. We have some guys who have entered the transfer portal. We have a new offensive coordinator. But with the exception of Jaden Davis, we're gonna have pretty much an all new quarterback room. Okay, what would you start? And I think we're gonna get a veteran out of the transfer portal, whether it's Miller Moss or somebody else. Would you start Bryce right away, or would you make him sit behind whichever veteran quarterback we think is coming in for a little while, and let him learn, let him bulk up a little bit. What would Johnny Olden do?
If we have because Miller Moss, he signed with somebody, Louisville. He signed with Louisville, but if we get a quarterback that's a proven guy and he's actually better than Bryce, I always go by the adage, if the young guy is just as good or it's close, go with the young guy. That's I always, because his ceiling's higher. Let's go on and get those growing pains out of the way early. So by the end of the season or mid through, he's already surpassed that older player, you know. So unless it's a proven guy, a proven starter that we know is better, I'll start Bryce. That's me, because I don't want to waste too much time, honestly. Because I know right now people are getting nervous. They're saying, well, if Davis Warren is back, if it's Davis Warren and Bryce, I'm starting Bryce. I'm not even thinking about it. I'm starting Bryce. If we don't end up getting somebody, which I think we will, but if it goes to that, I'm starting Bryce. M3.
Okay. And so Jaden Davis himself, he's still unproven, but as we were talking about before the stream, it's his throwing motion. That's what held him out this year. And that may be the thing that limits him going forward, is that he kind of brings it back down.
I call it the Byron Leftwich, because he got away with it. That long gunslinger, you know, most quarterbacks, you got it right here.
Yes.
These dudes bring it down like that. They bring it down and around. It's long and it's drawn out. You know, that's a lot of time. You know, you're making these plays in milliseconds. So the fact that you're, instead of being right here and boom, you're bringing it down here and around, that's a lot of time. The corner done broke already. That's a pick six. So
right.
That's a problem. And not only that, if that pass rusher gets you, that's a fumble every time.
Yep.
Or knockdown also, because it's so obvious. A dude like Kenneth Grant's gonna knock that down every time.
Right. Let's see. So Kenneth Joyce says the best case scenario set for him this season, or sit him. I'm not sure what that means. So sprinkle him in so he can play and learn the game. Okay, I see what you're saying. So put him in doses. Antoine says, go ahead and get Finn. Okay, Maze Man says, yeah, the motion is elongated. That's Jaden Davis. Mm-hmm. Antoine says, so we can run the damn RPO. He loves his RPO. He says, yeah, Finn or the brother at Nevada Williams.
Yeah, Finn is nice. I forget exactly where he's at. What is it? Toledo? Is he at Toledo? But he's nice. He's not that good of a passer, but he can run. He's an elite runner.
Okay. And Michigan is more so now in the NIL sweepstakes with everybody else. So we'll be able to well, it's going to feel a lot more like the NFL. We'll be paying guys. And it didn't dawn on me when all this first started that all this is pretty much free agency, where they could just say, you know what, I'm going to another team. I don't know if it was like this last year, but it seems like there's just so much more movement now this year with guys. It's
going crazy. It's honestly getting a little out of hand, but it's probably gonna get straightened out a little bit when they put restrictions and it comes from the school. But it's going to depend on each state. Each state's going to have different laws for how they're going to, handle this stuff. So it's the Wild Wild West.
Okay. So everybody, we're towards the end. I'm just thinking of some of the moves on our roster. So Zavada's coming back.
Yeah,
which is good. Him. I mean, a clutch kicker has been the key to this our team's success over the last 4 years. Let's see. I think Dunlap entered the portal.
Did he?
I think one of the running backs entered the portal.
Cole Cabana.
Cole Cabana. Okay.
I always wanted to see him. Never got to see him.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. We were supposed to have gotten that kid from Alabama, but I heard that it wasn't confirmed.
Payne. There was something with the I guess he signed some different paperwork. I guess they sent him enrollment paperwork. They sent him paperwork to sign, and he thought it was enrollment paperwork, and that's how I got nullified. And then he ended up signing later on yesterday.
Maze Man says it's confirmed.
Yeah. Yeah, so he ended up signing later on yesterday. Payne. That's a depth piece. He's from Alabama, but he ain't really did much, if I'm gonna be honest. So, but we need the depth at D tackle bad because we're about to lose Kenneth Grant and Mason Graham. Kenneth hasn't declared yet, but it looks like he's about to. Because I was
about to say, yeah. Mason made his announcement that he signed with 2 agents. I was waiting for Kenneth. Haven't heard him say anything yet.
Yeah, but I think they say he hasn't been practicing, so he's probably getting ready to just meeting, trying to see exactly what his options are. I know they're probably trying to give him a bag to stay.
Okay. Jay Marion says, Antoine says, we got Payne. And Jay Marion says, I would throw big NIL money at Grant. Mm-hmm. Okay. And I saw that Jay Sean is going to move to edge rusher.
That's a good move for him.
You think so?
Yeah. Because you get him on the edge, and the way he's built, we'll see how good he can bend, but linebacker, when he started to flourish this year, he was really rushing the passer, whether he was rushing inside or outside. That's kind of where he started to find his way, because early in the season, he was lost. Just trying to be the Mike, playing middle linebacker, he was lost. So.
Okay. All right. The bowl game. So are you going?
Yeah.
Okay.
I will be at the Reliaquest.
Okay, everybody. If you're going, Johnny's going to be at the Reliaquest. Are you expecting? So Milroe's going to play for Alabama. Do you expect? I don't know. What do you expect? Do you expect this is going to be competitive, or it's going to be a JV exhibition type thing?
Well, we better be competitive, because if not, he gonna be trying to light us up. Because I know he wants revenge. I know he does, and he ain't the type of dude you want to take lightly. This dude is a running back playing quarterback, so he'll come out there and have 20 carries for 190 on you and 4 TDs. So whoever's still playing, this is your chance to get a jump on next season. With Mason not playing, with Will, of course, being gone, and Loveland being out.
Yeah, Loveland.
All those guys. Donovan's not playing. So this is your chance, because Milroe, I think he's gonna come into. I don't think he's coming to play around. Because what is he? He don't really have nothing to gain, so he got to be coming out to
get some retribution.
Yeah. So they better come with it. Like Vance on Vance Bedford on
Sam Webb's show.
Sam Webb, Michigan Insider. I'm blitzing off the bus. I'm blitzing him off the bus. So I go with that same game plan, similar to last year. I'm blitzing him.
Yeah, that's interesting, because I thought with Saban going and I guess I thought they would drop off a lot, but they dropped off, but not. They were still kind of in contention for the playoff until those last couple of games when the bottom just fell out. But okay. So in terms of the quarterback, would you play Davis, or would you let Jaden get in there and try to show, because he's gonna have to compete for the job next year. I mean, I think
Yeah.
he probably thought that he was the next man up, the heir apparent, but now
Seems
that's
like
not guaranteed for him.
No, and if it wasn't for this elongated throwing motion and all this, I would say throw him in there. It still wouldn't bother me just to see. We don't have nothing to lose. We shouldn't even be playing Alabama, honestly. We 7-5. Why are we playing them? But I would, with that motion, you probably don't want to put him out there, because if he gets lit up and throws 3-4 interceptions, you could ruin his confidence forever, maybe. You never know how a quarterback will take it. So you probably got to let Davis Warren go on and have his last hurrah, and just work on Jaden Davis's throwing motion all offseason to try to correct it so he can actually contribute if we need him to, because you never know. Even whether it's Bryce or whoever, you only one injury from being the starter. So it's got to get fixed.
Okay. Coach Antoine says, put all the youngsters in. I don't want to see old heads. I don't care about winning.
Yeah.
Get them youngsters ready. Okay. Yeah. And then Roderick says, empty the bench, see who wants to be a dog. Okay. Yeah. Brano 2 times says, facts, I want to see my guy Capana.
Yeah. Capana. I was just talking about him earlier. He needs to get in that weight room at about 10-15.
What position?
Oh, running back.
Running back. Okay.
He's probably behind. He's probably behind Ben Hall, Jordan Marshall, and then you got Capana.
Okay. Maze Madman says, yeah, we need to see what he's got. Michigan is playing in the bowl solely to put eyes on it. Follow the money.
Exactly. You got 2 blue bloods. They did us like this. When was that? 2019, I want to say. Yep, 2019 with Mac Jones, Najee Harris, Devontae Smith. Right before they won the championship in 2020. They destroyed us in Orlando, I want to say it was.
Yeah, I think that was the revenge tour, what was left of the revenge tour season.
They got their revenge, all right, too.
Yeah.
It was fun while it lasted. It was.
Jay Marion says, I would sprinkle I'll sprinkle Jaden in there, maybe give him the second half. Okay.
Yeah. I feel like we need to see something from him. Put him in. Like, come on.
Okay.
Put him in. That's
the other thing is, the quarter. Davis is gone. Alex entered the transfer portal. Denegal entered the transfer portal. So it's going to be a completely new quarterback room next season. Going back to Maize and Blue Mike's question, do you have any thoughts on the playoff? Who do you think's going to win? Do you think Ohio State's going to wash out on Saturday night?
I'm hoping they do. I can't wait to watch that game because it's the best matchup besides it being Ohio State, but it's the best matchup, Ohio State, Tennessee, and it's going to be freezing. Like, I'm so interested to see how these dudes handle that because nobody really plays when it's this cold. College, you're usually done, and then you go to a bowl in the South where it's warm. So it's such a strange thing that I haven't seen from most of these teams or players is actually playing. It's going to be 15 degrees. There you go. 20 degrees.
Wow. At nighttime. Yep.
Because the game kicks at 8. They screwed Ohio State with that late kickoff. So the game starts at 8. Third, fourth quarter, it's going to be like 9, 10, 11 o'clock. It's going to be like 15 degrees out there probably.
Okay. Do you now, in terms of seeding the whole thing, so you're predicting that Ohio State won't survive?
They have such a tough road because if they get by Tennessee, they got Oregon. Then if they get by Oregon, who is it? Probably Texas, I think. And then probably seeing Georgia in the championship, probably, who knows? But
if it works out that way, that's a hard road.
Yeah, they were saying that there was some talk that the way it was seeded, they also made it difficult for Oregon as well.
Yeah, it's a hard road for them too.
Okay, I'm gonna read some more of these guys. Johnny agreed to hang out for a little bit longer, 30 minutes or so. I'm gonna do what him and Marcus do. I'm gonna drop the link if you guys want to come up and say something regarding all of this. You're gonna be able to do so. Trepper says it's the Ohio State University. Roderick says it should be pronounced the softest Ohio ever been. CJ Mike says I think Dunlap is in the portal. And
it's time for him to Dunlap. It's time for you to find greener pastures and go do your thing. It ain't gonna happen here. Okay. He's been around since before COVID, and this dude been around a long time.
So, guys, I'm going to drop the link. In the meantime, I'm going to ask Johnny 2 Ohio State questions. Did you have any thoughts on the fight afterwards?
The fight, it's just so funny because, and people are blaming Michigan. Oh, you plant a flag. People been planting flags every year. You get 2-3 flag plants, and people just take it. Texas planted a flag on Michigan's field this year. So just because we planted a flag, it's our fault. Y'all can't control yourself. What are we talking about? These are wild times where everybody's coddled for nobody wants to take accountability. Why are you being coddled? You lost. Go sing your Ohio song. Go to the locker room. Instead, you wanted to come fight. And then you got bodied. Most of them dudes got bodied in the fight. If you see the slow motions of it.
Yeah.
Them dudes was getting bodied. But take accountability. It ain't Michigan's fault. It's y'all fault. Y'all wanted to fight. So it's 2024. You know, everybody gets coddled and wants to blame somebody else because they can't control themselves.
Yeah, and it was funny because Ryan, guys, the link is here if anyone wants to come up. Ryan looked like he had seen a ghost. I mean, he was completely in a daze.
Oh, he is shell shocked. I can only imagine what he thinks about when the game is going on. You know, earlier in the season, we saw Sharon go to the sunken place, you know, where he's just like, Coach, are you there? Are you there, Coach? Ryan Day, he did that. He did that when we beat them. And probably in the fourth quarter, too, because, you know, in the fourth quarter, he was he called that timeout, was looking confused and stuff over there. Like, he's somewhere else. He's not there. Ryan Day is not standing there. He's somewhere else.
Okay.
It was a bad look, though. It was a horrible look.
But you could see, I'm going to bring up M-Go Blue Brad, but you could see throughout the second half of that game, Ryan, the look of desperation on his face, it was just going up and up and up. And I knew when they got that 12 men on the field call, I said, oh my God, they're not coming back from this. But before I give it over to M-Go Blue Brad, I don't know if you saw it, but someone created a video where Urban Meyer was playing the video game. And then, yeah, you saw it. And then I think Ryan came and said, is it good? He said, yeah, it's good. And he handed him the control pad. And then they showed the bus just drive off.
He dropped the ledge off the cliff. I saw that.
All right, M-Go Blue Brad, welcome. What say you?
How's it going with you brothers?
Good, yourself?
I'm blessed, man. I'm blessed, man. Hey, appreciate you guys for allowing me to get on. And as y'all know, I'm here in Columbus, Ohio, man. And yeah, as you can imagine. But now it's been, you could say, well, it's been lovely. It's been lovely, you know, so it's been good. So it ain't even like what you think it is. It's been lovely. So, but anyway, but the vibes here, though, just being in Columbus, and I'm pretty sure you guys may see it in the media as well, but it's even stronger since I'm here in the heart of it. they're really Ryan Day and the AD. They're really trying to change the rivalry. They're genuinely are not. They're not trying to put no more emphasis on how big the rivalry is. And I don't know if you guys seen Ryan Day's interview of him saying, like, it's a new era now. Things have changed. We're in the playoffs. They're not. And then the AD gets on there and saying, we just gotta think more into the future and things like that. And I noticed even like a lot of the fans, besides the Menace to Sports dude or whatever, everybody else I noticed are trying their best to devalue the rivalry. They don't want it to be. It's not. They don't want it to be important anymore. And let me ask you guys this: do you guys see the rivalry being just in a future couple of years or whatever? You guys see it not being as important, or is that just them making an excuse?
Johnny, you want to go ahead?
Yeah, it's gonna be important. It's just an excuse because they don't have a leg to stand on, bro. We done beat them 4 years in a row. They said it was the cheating. Now Connor's gone. We're not good, and we still beat you.
Hey, these dudes, hey, they really, and I kind of figure I just needed to get some confirmation from one of my Michigan brothers. That's really all boils down to. But they're going in like, man, it's not, it's not even important anymore. You guys are not even in the playoffs, and I'm like, listen, that's besides the point, man. That's besides the point. You guys lost to a 7-5 team, to a walk-on quarterback. Y'all spent $20 million. And in one hand, they're so hypocritical, man. One hand, they're trying to devalue the game. But then on the other hand, they're trying to get rid of Ryan Day because of the game. So I'm like, what pick one? Because now I'm sitting here looking at that YouTube shows. They're saying he did that. They are saying Tennessee's a must win.
Mm-hmm.
They're saying like this. They're saying this is a must win. Don't matter what the AD say. They're gonna be back here burning couches like how they used to do back in the 90s. These Buckeye fans, they're good for burning couches for some reason.
I can't wait to watch the meltdown. I hope they lose to Tennessee. The meltdown is gonna be epic. Like, I can't wait.
Man, Johnny, I'm gonna be at the edge of my seat trying to, and then you see Buckeye fans ain't even showing up to the stadium. They ain't even packing it out. The Tennessee fans is buying up all the tickets.
I heard that.
It's true. It's true. Like, so they because I know a few Buckeye fans, here being in Columbus, you just running into so many Buckeye fans or whatever. They're not even, a lot of the students or whatever are selling their tickets. And the Tennessee fans is buying the tickets from the students. I got my wife's got family members and stuff that go to that alumni from Ohio State. They usually go. They're not even going. And so I'm like, is it really that bad? They're saying, yeah, like there's like people are not going to the game because of Ryan Day. Because I thought a lot of the stuff was just kind of media driven, kind of over exaggerated. Like, I'm like, even though I can't stand Ohio State fans, they be rocking. They gonna beat us. Nah, it's true, man.
I think number one, the game should be preserved. I think this is them waving the white flag. They've probably been broken because I didn't expect. I'm probably a bad Michigan fan, but I was just hoping we could keep it close. But I think Ryan, they spent all that money on the roster, okay, and the thought was probably there was no way they would lose this year, so they're probably broken. Their fan base after that game was broken. So I could see them. Look what we went through for 20 years, or however long that was after Lloyd Carr retired. What did we go through? Did we ever say, let's not make the game important anymore? So
that's
I think
they got so used to winning that some of their fans, they've never seen this happen.
They never seen it happen.
So they don't know what to do. They don't know how to handle this.
Yeah, they most definitely they are broken. They are in a broken place. I remember, Johnny, you had me rolling, man, because I was trying to find a word of what Ryan Day was going through. Because me and my sons watching, I'm like, man, why he dazing off? He's dazing off. Johnny got on there and was like, Johnny said, that boy Ryan Day was in a sunken place. I said that's what it was. I bet, man, you had me and my sons raw. I'm like, that's exactly what it was. That man was in a sunken place. Then he didn't look like he looked like he lost 20 or 30 pounds. If you look at the interview, I'm like, man, he's stressed.
Yeah, he's stressed. He's trying to play it cool because they still got a chance to win the championship. He's trying to play it cool, but it's got to bother you because you got fans saying that even if you win the Natty, they still want you fired. That's crazy.
Man, they down here in Columbus threatening this man's family.
Yeah.
Like they talking about we going to his house, they in front of the house. Like it's really like that, y'all, in Columbus. Like this really broke their fan base. And I think them losing to Tennessee, I really believe like it's gonna break the whole program. Because what they didn't fail and realize, they just think they can just, get rid of Ryan Day and then go out and get another coach and all that. It's not that easy. Because there's not even really no high-level coach. What, Deion Sanders possibly? Like, there's not no big time coach out there that you can. There's no Urban Meyers. There's no Nick Saban. There's none of those anymore that you could just grab and just pluck in or whatever. So it's not going to be
about to lose a ton of players.
Like, so it's going to be very interesting, man. But yeah, I appreciate you, brother. I don't want to photo. I know other people won't want to get on and say their thing. So I appreciate you, brothers, man. Go Blue.
Okay. If anyone else, let's see, we'll just go just a little bit longer. If no one else wants to come up, that's fine. But if you want to come up and say a few words with me and Johnny, I'll drop the link one more time. It's there in the chat. If anyone else wants to come, if not, I'm sure, Johnny has some other things to do. As I do. Let's see. I was gonna say something else. And I forgot what it was. Okay. Johnny, do you have any other thank you for coming back. Do you have any other thoughts or predictions or anything?
Nothing much. Just really appreciate you, asking me to join. It's been a crazy year. Some of this stuff I forgot about. I put it in the back of my mind and tried to get rid of it because, it was.
Are you referring to how the season went earlier or?
Yeah, the early season, early and mid season. I just really want to remember getting Bryce, Northwestern, and OSU. But things are looking up. With Sharon recruiting. Filling these holes with the transfer portal because we need to fill a lot of them, and not with just starters, with depth guys, rotational guys, but they're coming along. So right now we just got to fill these positions, and then spring and summer and fall we'll see where we got, But things are looking up, way better than it was mid-year.
Yeah. Jay Marion says. Let's see. I'll read this. Michigan Man Jay says, I heard Ryan Day hasn't slept. That wouldn't surprise me. I as a Michigan fan, I felt kind of bad for him after the game because the way he went to go sing their song. I think they all hold hands and sing the song afterwards after the games, and then the fight broke out, and he turned around. And he was just. Shoulders are kind of slumped over. He's like, what happened? And the fight's breaking out. Donovan's praying with some of his players. Jack Sawyer snapping out.
And he was just looking like.
Yeah, he was just dazed.
Like, bro, Jack Sawyer is about to choke slam this dude. Go get your player. And my problem with it was, you're the leader. Get your player, bro. Like, wake up. This is your team. What are you doing? Like, you can't just sit there while they're having a bar brawl. Sharon was out there breaking dudes up, getting them off the pines. This dude is just like, he's in the sunken place. Like, he should have grabbed Jack, like, no, go to the locker room, get off the field, something. He was just standing there. That was wild to see.
Okay.
Some of this stuff was crazy to just watch.
Well, it was funny because they had a cameraman like right there in the middle of the field, and you could turn. When he turned, you could see all the Ohio State players running up. It was like being right in the middle of a battle on Lord of the Rings or something.
It looked like they were, honestly, it kind of looked like they were waiting for us to bring them to try to plant the flag again.
Yeah.
Because we did it in 2022. And all the alumni Ohio State players told them never let them do that. No, don't let, so they remembered, and it still made them, the narrative of them being soft, it just made it even worse because you just lost and now you want to fight. You didn't have that fight when the game was going on, because that's what everybody said. Now you want to fight. Well, the game is over. Then you lose the fight. You lost on the field and the fight after the game.
Yeah. Okay, everybody. Johnny Olden Jr. All right. Well, thanks, Johnny.
Yes, sir. Go blue.
Go blue. All right. I'll talk to you.
All right.
All right, everyone. I'm going to go ahead and wind the stream down. Yeah, the Reliaquest Bowl is on December 31st at noon. So I will probably, I'm going to be traveling that day, but I will try to stop off and watch it. And I think I might do a quick stream afterwards on the run. But that's the next game. And then the playoff starts on Saturday. It's going to be a crazy Saturday because the NFL is going as well. So there's going to be a lot of football on Saturday. Jay Marion, thank you. Everybody, please hit the like button. If you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. Hey, I do the best I can over here. I don't have Johnny every week. But hey, just please smash the like button. Please consider subscribing if you're not. Shout out to Bo Lytle. Respect is earned. All right, everyone, I'm going to wrap this stream up. I will talk to you the next time. I'm going to keep throwing updates up on my community tab as more news comes in. So, hey, everybody, have a good night. And let's see if Ryan Day survives to coach another game, and let's see if we get a veteran quarterback in Schembechler Hall. Let's see. All right, everybody, go blue. As always, remember that your attitude determines your altitude. Always try to do your best. Take care, and I will talk to you the next time. Once again, if this is your first time, please like, share, and subscribe. Everybody, have a good night. Go blue.